it's weird, it's weird. I was just sitting watching the playoff games last night, and like I kept thinking that, like I gotta get to bed because I got a game. Like that's just what my mind was. That's what my head is. Like I kept thinking like I gotta get to bed or I gotta like drink my electrolytes so like I'm ready for the game. And then I'm like, wait, like we don't even have a game. Like the season's really over. I never want my season to end this early ever again. Like this feels, terrible just sitting here watching all this great basketball while I'm at home.
It's Paolo Banchero. This is my diary with ESPN Andscape.
Welcome to Easter Sunday in beautiful Boston. Just a gorgeous spring day. It's the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics and the NBA playoffs.
Let's go, boy. Be the killer you are. Let's go. Kojo, get out! Cut!
You always feel like you got a fighting chance when you get back in the game. Once they start making threes how they were in the third quarter, it makes it really hard to stop them. It's like you're trying to play keep up, because they're counting by threes, every time down the floor, and you kind of realize it's over. When you're down, you look up, it's only 5 minutes and you're down, 25. I think in a couple of the timeouts, I just took time to like stare off into space, and I kind of was just contemplating and thinking about kind of how this season went from the start to the finish, and honestly how quickly it went by. Like it's crazy that I'm sitting here in May saying that my third year is over. Like it literally just feels like it started.
Boston wins and advances. And the season is over for a gritty Orlando Magic ball club. 4 games to 1.
Every season has challenges and goods and bads, ups and downs. I think this season for me was more challenging than any other season I can remember just in my life. I think in general, dealing with the injury, then coming back, trying to play myself back into shape, finding a little bit of a rhythm, winning some games. And then, clinching the postseason and then going up against the defending champs in the playoffs. It was just a really eventful season, and a lot of stuff happened, not just with me, but with the whole team. Just shows you that, every year in the NBA is different, and you can't, go into a year or go into a season just expecting things to go perfect or expecting everyone to be healthy, because it's such a long season and so much can happen. You can't take any year in this league for granted. Every season is a new race, and you have to approach it as such. You can't just expect to, have success or expect to, be somewhere without actually, putting in the work and also having luck. Some of that's luck as well.
Here's Banchero on the run, looking to attack. He's got 3 fouls, pull-up jumper. Banchero!
I'll say the one lesson I learned this year definitely was just you can't take health, you can't take success, you can't take winning for granted. Throughout my whole athletic career, I've always won, from 5, 6 years old all the way through college. Like I was just always used to winning. And so, I got to the NBA, and you go through, your first year, it's kind of like you're feeling everything out. Then my second year, we're winning, we're going to the playoffs.
Banchero exploring, spinning, and there's a foul. Count the basket for playoff P.
And it's like coming into the third year, I was so sure that I was going to have a huge year, the team was going to have a huge year. I put the work in, and I was just 110% sure that it was going to go the way I knew it was going to go, and it didn't. I got hurt in the 5th game of the season, and it kind of just shook me up, took me back a little bit, and made me realize that, God's plan is not always your plan, and you got to be able to, deal with some of the things that happen and find a way to be better from it. And so I think that's just what I learned is I can't take none of this for granted. Every year I got to come into it with with a fresh mindset of like, nothing is going to be given to me.
Gives to Banchero, pump fake, one dribble, fires the jumper, it's good.
I have to earn every win. I have to, treat every day the same and recover the same, and get ready for a new game, a new practice. Like every day is a new day. Nothing is given. Nothing is going to just happen. You have to go into it, with the even keel mindset.
Banchero, pull up, three-point shot, drills it.
$243 million.
What's that?
That's what you could potentially be signed for this season.
Is it?
Yeah.
How much?
$243 million.
243? Damn.
What comes by when you think about the possibilities of getting that kind of extension?
I don't even know, man. I was in over my head when I signed my rookie deal. So I haven't really thought much about that. Like, that's why it's kind of taking me back right now when you say it, because I haven't really said that number, or I didn't even know what the number was or what it will be. It's a blessing, and hopefully all that stuff works out, and I'm able to sign, with the team and lock in my future. I think that's every young player's goal coming into this league is, establishing yourself early, and being able to get a second contract. So yeah, I don't know, man. They say more money, more problems. So we'll see what happens. As a team, we have a good feel of what our weaknesses are, what we need to work on. And I think we just have to address some of those things. And so I'm looking forward to what changes are made. If there aren't any changes, then there aren't any changes. But if there are, then I'm going to be ready to get to work and embrace it with open arms. I've never really been a big recruiter, I ain't gonna lie. But hey, if you're interested, I can sell you. But at the end of the day, it's about winning. And we're trying to get past the first round. We've been there 2 years. We don't want to be, known for just getting in the first round and being out. You want to be known for making deep runs in the playoffs. In order to do that, you got to improve as a team. I don't want my season to keep ending this early, start of May. Like, I want to play through May, into June, like experience that postseason basketball past the first round. This summer, definitely gonna go back home for majority of the summer, back to Seattle. My grandma's 75th birthday is in June. She's been reminding me for the last 3 months that her 75th is coming up. I love her. And then, I'm just gonna be working on my game, man. Like, that's what I love about the off season, is just being locked in the gym, working on my game, going hard, getting better. I would say I probably had my best stretch of basketball during this season. Statistically, it's my best season. I've only played 3 years, so I think it has been my best season, but to me, it doesn't feel that way. Like, I'm not satisfied with like how this year went for me or for the team. Like, I had career highs in all areas, but like it wasn't what I expected it to be coming in. I really did come into this season expecting to dominate, the whole season into the playoffs, and just accomplish all my goals. So when that doesn't happen, it leaves a lot to be desired and kind of makes you even more hungry. So that's just kind of how I feel. And I'm blessed to be going into the off season healthy. I'm gonna do a little traveling throughout the summer. I like to chill during the summer. I have a routine. You got an in-season routine, and then you have, for me, an off-season routine where, you kind of want them to be similar. And like, what you eat, when you go to sleep, like, you don't want to be doing something totally different in the off-season. You want to keep it, similar, so that when you come back into the season in September, October, you hit the ground, running. Now, I agreed to do this diary, because I feel like I had never done anything like this before, where I kind of give people an insight of, what I'm going through or where my mind's at, during the season, while the season's going on, sort of a behind the scenes type of look. And, I just wanted to give, my fans and, fans of the team, fans of the NBA, a look into kind of who I am as a person, how I go about, my business, my work, some of my off the court stuff. you know, who my friends are, my family are, introducing the world to them, and just kind of giving everyone a better feel for kind of who I am as a person, as a player, in a, you know, a cool way, you know, through this diary. And man, I just hope that everyone comes away kind of seeing, you know, how I, you know, approach not only the game but just life in general. You know, I'm a pretty simple guy. It's awesome to get to do something like this.